Hey guys, so today we are putting in a new 2-inch lift kit in our 105 series Land Cruiser. We're doing it on the street today, so it's going to be interesting. Our driveway is steep as. But yeah, we're putting in some EFS springs, Superior Engineering remote res shocks, and some airbags in the back for when we put the caravan on. But yeah, let's get into it. Now we currently have a 2-inch lift kit already in the car. I'm not sure what brand springs they are, but we have just the Superior Engineering nitro gas shocks. But as we've loaded up the car with rear bar, the springs are way too soft and the shocks are leaking. So it's actually caused the tyres to scallop. This one's brand new, but I'll put up a video of one of the other tyres that's scalloping and wearing uneven. So yeah, we're putting new suspension in, new coils, new shocks, and we're putting all new mud terrains on next week as well down the road. So we've gone for 140 kilo coil springs in the front. We've gone 450 coil springs in the back. I'm a bit worried the 450 springs will be a little bit too heavy because we are putting airbags in the back as well for the caravan, but I didn't really want to have to pump up the airbags unless we had the caravan on the back. So we'll see how we go with that. Yeah, so we just got the Airbag Man kit. They're pretty easy to put in, I think. Just the one, you just hook up your tyre deflator to it and pump them up to the right pressure when you got weight on the back. But yeah, the car has been handling very poorly, quite scary to drive, especially on the freeway. So yeah, it's a well-needed upgrade that we've been putting off for a little while. So, but we're trying to wait until we had all the weight on there, which we nearly have. But yeah, should go good. So first step, we're going to do the front first. So you access the top shocks from the top here, just undoing this bolt. So for us it's a 22mm bolt. We'll take them first off and then we'll jack the car up and get those shocks out. Tapping out. Yeah, just I'm trying to figure it out, that's all. Still. This bolt sees on. Doesn't want to come off. Look. It's not even coming back. It's not even working. This one. Look at it. Ready? It's good. We did have to disconnect the sway bar. It was just, yeah, not enough flex. So makes it a bit easier. There's like a groove just here, so you just want to like twist that end of the spring to where it hits that, and that's like where it's properly seated. And then this is the same, yeah. We've done that one. It's a bit further down. The Superior remote res shocks, the monotube. Two. I think there's a 2 and there's a 2.5, but they don't do the 2.5 for ours, so we just got the 2. Fucking hell. That's on the softest. Oh, brother. Jesus. This will be hard to get in, I think. Oh, fuck. We just did the other side, but we're just going to show you guys this side now. I was just trying to work out what was what and how it went, so that's why we didn't really film that side, but we will show you this one. So they come without the boot on them, so make sure you put that on first, otherwise you won't be able to get that on once it's in your car, which I just leave in there loose for now. What's up?
That looks so Anyway.
I was a bit stuck on the bushes for a while because it comes with 4 washers, and I was trying to look at photos back and forth. It does have the instructions that only need 2 washers, one for the top, one for the bottom. Assuming they just give you these extra ones that are chamfered differently depending on your car. So, but for us, we use the ones without the lip. And you just need that one with the chamfered facing out towards the bushing, on like that. And then same on the other side. And that's it. They are quite hard to get in, like even though this is on full droop, the sway bar is disconnected, but it's still like just didn't go in, so I did have to get the top in and then pull it up on the bottom, compress the shock a bit, just enough to get that in there. So I dialed this down to the softest setting as well, just to kind of help with that. And then yeah, so just a washer with a chamfered edge facing towards the bushing, same on the top, and then now it'll be same on the bottom, opposite with the nut. Superior sell a mounting plate for the reservoirs, like depending on which car you have, like suited to your car. So for this one, it uses this bolt and the bolt behind here, so it's like a half circle plate, and then it comes up right angle, and then you can put your reservoir there, which in hindsight probably should have bought. But otherwise they come with just this generic plate that you can just try and fit somewhere. So I think we'll just put it up here. We'll just have to drill a hole in the side of the guard here, which it'll be in the same spot anyway. It's just a bit more work, so yeah. Always forget to tighten your lug nuts up. Huh?
Your nose.
Oh, is there?
Still.
I remember one time when we went in Broome, I changed the front brake pads on the Ranger and I just nipped them up with the rattle gun and forgot to tighten up one side with the breaker bar and nearly lost a wheel. So don't forget that. Pretty much all in now, the front springs and the shocks. We've got the bolts on there, but they're just done up loosely. I just want to figure out where we're putting the reservoir first to see which way to spin the shock. And then we can just go through and Loctite and torque up the shock bolts top and bottom. But you need to do that when it's on the ground and the weight's on it first, so you can't torque them up to spec when it's still in the air. So
yeah, it's going to be uphill, you know, and no one's got anything like it. It's completely like, no.
now all the weight's back on the ground, we just got to torque up the bolts. So just put a bit of Loctite on and torque them up to the right spec. So this is an M14 bolt, so they've got written on there torque up to 135 Newton meters. So that's what we'll do. We've just done the other side first, just so we can figure out what we're doing first, and then show you guys on this side. So just got to jack the car up first. I'll put a jack stand back there, and I've just been putting the jack here as well, just extra support. And then we'll take the wheel off, and we had to take the sway bar off on the other side as well, just to bring the diff down more. And yeah. So at this point, a long day. Out in the sun all day, and we were just tired, and I was just trying to get it all done, so I did stop talking to the camera a fair bit. So because the road still wasn't completely flat, when we jacked up this side and lowered onto the stands, the whole car was really tilting sideways, and it was just a bit sketchy for us, to be honest. So we had to pack up the car and move it to the other side of the road, so it was leaning into the 3 tyres and not onto the tyre that was off. So on the back side, there's just a plate at the top, which you have to take off the 2 bolts and pull the plate out with the shock, and then you can access the top bolt of the shock from there. Should we try it as well? You can just hear it. So here I just used another smaller jack just to take the weight of the diff when we disconnected the sway bar. Well, what are you doing? How to get the airbags in the best way is you want to fully deflate the airbag, just squish it all up, and there's a plug that comes with the box. So you just cut off a little bit of hose, put the plug in it, and then deflate it, and then put that plug in there to stop it from re-expanding. And then that way it makes it easier to get that Kevlar bag on and get it into the spring. They do look quite squished up when you first put them in like that, but after we inflated them and drove around a bit, they sat in place nicely. So to put the airbags in the back, the airbag basically becomes the bump stop. So you've got to pull out the factory bump stop, and then you've got to actually drill out that bolt hole to a 32mm size hole, just to allow for movement in the airbag. And so the fitting in the top of the airbag doesn't get squished. Definitely would also try to put a coat of paint on that hole after you've drilled it out. And then so when you're putting the back spring in, you just want to make sure you put the metal plate, comes with a metal plate to go on top of the airbag, just so the fitting isn't sitting proud. And then you want to plug that air hose in and feed it through the hole. And again, like the front, you just want to twist the spring around until the end of the spring hits the groove, and then it's properly seated. We also didn't show on camera there, but that factory plate, like I said, that you have to pull out. So you want to pull that off the old shock, put the top bolt on the new shock, and then when you're putting it back in the car, you're just tightening up 2 sides of that factory plate back into the top. So with this steering dampener, we were a bit confused for a bit because it looks quite different to the old one that was on there, which was superior as well. It seemed like the steering dampener was missing bushes or something. Like, it just looked a bit weird to me, but because I just hadn't put one in before. But managed to find a photo, and yeah, there's no bushings that go in there. It's just like a cone shaped bolt, and that's just how it seats in there. So it just sits in there like that. Because of the cone shaped bolt, that plate will only go on there in one direction. So I was trying to put it on the wrong way the whole time, and then figured out in the end I had it the wrong way around. Oh, this way. Idiot. He's putting it. Trying to. So after we're all finished, we re-measured from center of the hub to top of the wheel guard, and it lifted the car a lot higher than what we thought. We managed to find the specs for the factory measurements from center of hub to the top of the wheel guard, and it's actually now sitting about 80mm higher than factory, so more than a 3.5 inch lift. So it will settle, but I don't know how much it's going to settle. So yeah, when we got the new tyres and everything put on, we got caster correction bushes put in, which definitely made a difference, but I don't really think they're enough to correct the caster for that big of a lift, because it may settle to maybe a 3-inch lift, but even that is still too tall for that. So I think we're going to get some radius arms and adjustable panhard rods down the track. Mate, looks good.
What you doing?
We are just checking, because we put the lift kit in a few weeks ago, but we just wanted to see how she's flexing on full droop, which is what it's at now. We just mainly wanted to see, because we just did a 2-inch lift and we didn't change any of the radius arms or panhard rods. We still are going to do adjustable panhard rods, but I more just wanted to make sure like the drive shaft isn't touching like the tyre rod there, or the sway bar, because that's when we're going to have to get all the extensions, which it's not, it's clearing, so it's fine. I thought because it lifted higher than before, and also we've added airbags and heavier springs, that it wasn't going to flex as much as before. But to be honest, that's where it was before. Like, we nearly dropped the tyre below the door there. So it's pretty much the same as it was before, which I'm pretty happy with. Look, as long as nothing's rubbing, which it's not, just get adjustable panhard rods, maybe sway bar link extensions, and then Bob's your uncle.
Carly, come here. #1 supporter. Go Carlu. Carlu. He's watching all the 4B boys. Carlu, come here.
Carly, so we're just out here today testing out our new Superior Engineering shocks. How do you rate it, Carly? Doesn't like them.